friends, now let's start together the beautiful journey of policy and regulatory framework of GovTech by studying drone policy in India. In this session, we would consider some uses of drones in emergencies in the past. We would also look at use of drones in existing pandemic scenario. We would try to look at Indian drone policy, the version 1 and new version 2. We would look specifically into key highlights of drone policy 2.0 and limitations of using drones, with more emphasis on looking ahead through cobotic responses and conditional exceptions to that. Drones, also called as UAVs, unmanned aerial vehicles, have been used in emergencies in the past. I am sure you know more than me. India first used military grade drones during the Kargil war in the year 1999. While dealing with the Pakistan sponsored terror attack in 2008 in Mumbai, drones were used. We have also used drones in natural disaster mitigation, such as handling avalanche in northern Sichuan in 2016, such as handling Bandipur forest fire in 2019 and handling even Bihar floods now. How can we forget the use of drones in current pandemic scenario? Surveillance and monitoring of containment zones during lockdowns have been done through drones. Broadcasting important public messages have been done through drones. Tracking down violators of restrictions of isolation have been done through drones. Decontamination of hotspots have been done through drones. Delivery of medicines and some essential items have been done through drones, and many more when locust infestation happened in recent past. Let us look at Indian drone policy directions. Indian drone policy 1.0 came to force somewhere around December 1, 2018, that essentially allowed the hobbyist and recreational flyers to operate drones in the Indian airspace. However, understandably, it was quite limited. Drone policy 2.0, a white paper has been made public in January 2019 under the name of Drone Ecosystem Policy Roadmap, which encompasses regulations for enhanced operations on all important aspects of drones, such as flying beyond visual line of sight, commercial usage of drones by cargo delivery, and autonomous operations without active human intervention. Let us look at key highlights from this policy roadmap 2.0. First and foremost, as I said, is talking about beyond visual line of sight operations, also called as BYLOS operations. Expansion of operational airspace for unmanned air systems operating beyond the visual line of sight and above the current limit of 400 feet has been stipulated in policy roadmap 2.0. Also, drone corridors, which are an airspace segregated from flight paths of manned aircraft with adequate safety buffer, have been talked about in this document. Third, airworthiness. That means the new principles proposed to include safety, security and privacy by design have been inculcated in policy roadmap of drone 2.0. In this, the use of algorithms for piloting are proposed to be permitted, but only if adequate safety, security and privacy principles have been demonstrated in the design of operation. Further, a very robust unmanned aircraft system traffic management has been proposed that would be responsible for manning UAS induced traffic, especially in the drone corridor. There is also proposals to establish digital sky platform, which is first of its kind in India or maybe in the world, for implementing no permission, no takeoff policy. This drone policy roadmap 2.0 also talks about pilot training. It insists that improved and advanced pilot training methods should be introduced to meet the professional requirements under Civil Aviation Regulation, also called as CAR 2.0. It insists on establishing drone ports, which are designated areas dedicated to facilitate takeoffs and landing of the unmanned aircraft systems. It also talks about payloads and cargoes. Commercial UAS operations will foster new forms of air freight capabilities. Needless to say, Make in India now is the most important aspect and has been inculcated in Drone Policy Roadmap 2.0. 100% FDI in UAS and RPAS based systems, which are commercial in nature, would provide a boost to the Make in India initiative of the industry. Insurance is another aspect. Considering the increased exposure due to commercial operation, it becomes important for all the UAS operators to have a professional liability insurance to cover the cost of legal fees and damages awarded against such operators. This policy also talks about night operations of drones. The policy indeed envisages allowing night operations of drone in India, which is subject to operators having completed a proof of concept to the satisfaction of concerned authorities. Currently, night operation of a drone is a rare phenomenon across the world. Thus, if it is allowed under Drone Policy 2.0, it would set an example to the entire world. However, is our drone policy in tune with the emerging scenario? Let's have a look at it. Let's not forget that we still require flying permissions every time. Issues of security are still a matter of concern. Violation of provisions may cancel or suspend unique identification numbers, also called as UIN. No permission, no takeoff, abbreviated as NPNT, might limit usage of drones. New application areas of governance are yet to be permitted. So how do we look ahead? We look ahead in this realm by trying to inculcate cobotic responses. Yes, I use the word cobotic responses. Integration of drones in the emergency response systems in which humans cooperate with robots is called as cobotic response. Conditional exemption for emergency response systems for government entities like in COVID-19 really require cobotic response in robot operations. For example, police using drones with attached sirens and loudspeakers to warn residents to stay home. For example, Delhi-based company using drones to disinfect areas specified by South Delhi Municipal Corporation required cobotic response. I sum up the drone policy discussion by saying 2-3 instances where conditional exemption is still sought. For example, to deploy drones at present, government agencies like the Fire Department, Police, National Disaster Management Authority and DMA still need permission from Directorate General of Civil Aviation DGCA and Airport Authority of India AAI 24 hours in advance under the no permission, no takeoff regulation. In this instance, I would bring to your notice the public notice of May 2, 2020, where conditional exemption to government entities for COVID-19 related remotely piloted aerial systems operation was done. Maybe this could become a norm and could be included in our policy. There are so many other aspects which you with your diverse experience could bring to fore. I request you to start thinking on those lines. Thank you. See you in next session very soon on IoT policy. Thank you. Jai Hind.